Let me ask you something. Have you ever wanted something so badly, so desperately, that you'd do anything to get it? I'm talking about love. Some people think they can use spells or magic to capture someone's heart. They believe they can bypass all the hard work, the communication, and the real connection. They think it's a shortcut to happiness. But here's the cold, hard truth. Is this really a safe game to play? Can you mess with someone else's mind and heart without causing a whole world of hurt? I've seen it time and time again, and I'm here to tell you, it's a dangerous path with a dead end. You're playing with fire when you try to control another human being. It doesn't matter if you call it a spell, a ritual, or just wishful thinking. The intention is the same. You are trying to take away someone's free will. You are saying, I don't care what you want. I care about what I want. That's not love, folks. That's selfishness. It's a form of emotional manipulation, plain and simple. You're treating another person like a puppet on a string, and you're pulling those strings hoping they'll dance just for you. But people aren't puppets, and sooner or later, those strings are going to snap. Think about what you're really asking for when you cast a love spell. You're not asking for genuine affection or a real partnership. You're asking for a fantasy, an illusion. You're asking for a person to act like they love you, to go through the motions, while their true heart and soul might be screaming to get out. You're creating a hostage situation, not a relationship. And let me tell you, that kind of foundation is built on sand. The first high tide of reality that comes along is going to wash it all away, leaving you with nothing but regret and a bigger mess than you started with. The real danger here isn't just about the other person, it's about you. When you resort to these kinds of tactics, you are telling yourself that you are not good enough to be loved for who you are. You're admitting that you can't get what you want through honest means. This chips away at your own self-worth and your own integrity. You're choosing deception over authenticity, and that's a lonely road to walk. You end up fooling yourself more than anyone else, believing in a fantasy that can never, ever be real. It's a self-inflicted wound that can be the hardest to heal. I once knew a young woman, let's call her Sarah. Sarah was completely head over heels for a man named Mark. The problem was, Mark was in love with someone else, and Sarah knew this. Now, instead of accepting that and moving on, Sarah got a terrible idea. She was so consumed by her obsession that she sought out a group that practiced spellwork. She wasn't just trying to make Mark fall for her. She was actively participating in rituals designed to cause harm to Mark's main object of affection. She was convinced that this was the only way they could be together. This wasn't just some innocent wish upon a star. This was a calculated campaign. Sarah and this group would meet and focus their energy, their thoughts, and their intentions on creating chaos in Mark's object of affection. They performed rituals aimed at sowing seeds of doubt and discord between him and his love. Sarah truly believed that if she just wished hard enough, if she just performed the right spell, she could dismantle a genuine connection and insert herself into Mark's life. She was so blinded by her desire that she couldn't see the destructive nature of her actions, not just for them, but for herself. For a little while, Sarah thought it was working. Mark started paying more attentions to her, and one could say he felt like he was in love with her. He even joined Sarah in some of these rituals intended to bring chaos to the object of his affection. He just wanted to show Sarah that he loved her. To Sarah, this was proof that the magic was powerful. She saw every little crack in his feelings toward his love a victory for her spellwork. She felt a sense of power, a sense of control that was intoxicating. She was getting exactly what she wanted, or so she thought. She mistook his temporary confusion and turmoil for genuine affection directed toward her. But what was really happening here? Was it magic, or was it just a vulnerable man who may use Sarah for his unable to make a decision toward his beloved? In addition, for someone who declared his undying love to someone was actually himself perform rituals to hurt her. Wouldn't be safe to say he may do the same to Sarah in the future when another woman used witchcraft to lure him away from her? Even if Sarah wins his heart now, is it a guaranteed he will continue to love her in the future? How much more money and time Sarah going to spend to keep this facade going? Sarah wasn't winning his heart. She was simply being used for nefarious reasons. Here's where the rubber meets the road. Did the spells really work? Well, not in the way Sarah wanted. Yes, Mark's love for someone else may hit a rough patch, but the spells never touched the core of his feelings. His love for this other woman was real, and distance couldn't destroy that foundation. The magic that was supposed to tear them apart ended up being the storm that cleared the air and made Mark's feelings for her seem stronger. The attempt to harm his true love failed completely. Now let's talk about the effect on Mark. Some people might compare this kind of spell work to hypnosis. Can you hypnotize someone into doing something that goes against their core values? The answer is no. You can influence someone. You can make them confused. You can plant suggestions in their mind. Mark was confused. He felt pulled in different directions. But the spell could not create love where there was none. It could cloud his judgment, but it could not overwrite his heart. The heart has a will of its own, and it's more powerful than any ritual. Love that is forced is not love at all. It's a performance. Even if the spell had worked and Mark is with Sarah, what would she have? She would have a man who was with her because of a trick, not because of a choice. She would live in constant fear that the spell might wear off. Every day would be filled with anxiety, wondering if his true feelings would surface. You cannot build a lasting, healthy relationship on a foundation of lies and control. True love is a gift, freely given and freely received. It's not something you can steal or command. Ultimately, true love shows its face. No matter what Mark found, that he is still thinking of his love and wanting to be with her, and their deep bond for each other prove unbreakable. They saw the temporary turmoil for what it was, a test that they passed together. Sarah was left with nothing. The man she tried so desperately to control was happier than ever with someone else. The spell didn't give her love. It just highlighted her own desperation and left her more alone than when she started. She had invested all her energy into a fantasy, and when she woke up, the reality was devastating. There's a concept that's as old as time, and it's called karma. Simply put, what you put out into the world comes back to you. When you send out negative energy, when you try to manipulate and control others for your own selfish gain, you're not just throwing a rock into a pond, you're throwing a boomerang. It might take a while, but it is going to come back, and it often comes back harder than when you threw it. Sarah's actions were rooted in negativity and a desire to cause harm, and in the end, she was the one who was hurt the most. Think about it. She was left isolated, heartbroken, and filled with regret. The energy she poured into breaking up a happy couple could have been used to build herself up, to find her own happiness, to meet someone who would love her for who she truly is. Instead, she wasted her time and emotional energy on a destructive fantasy. That's karma in action. It's not about some cosmic punishment, it's about the natural consequences of your choices. You choose a path of deception. You end up tangled in a web of your own lies. True love is about celebrating and respecting another person's free will. It's about wanting what's best for them, even if that isn't you. It's about two whole, independent people choosing to build a life together. It's not about possession or control. When you try to use a spell to force love, you are fundamentally misunderstanding what love is. You are chasing a hollow victory that can never satisfy you. You might change a person's mind for a moment, but you can never, ever truly capture their heart that way. So I have to ask you this final question. Is it worth it? Is it worth sacrificing your integrity, causing pain to others, and setting yourself up for guaranteed heartbreak? All for the illusion of love? Is it worth the karmic fallout that will inevitably land on your doorstep? Is it worth to win the heart of a man who is willing to hurt another innocent woman? Is he worthy of your love? Or is it better to work on yourself, to become the kind of person someone would choose freely, and to wait for a love that is real, honest, and built on a foundation of mutual respect? The answer seems pretty clear to me. You get back what you put in. Choose wisely.